When I first started filmmaking and making videos, I always thought that the best way to nail exposure was through the presets on your camera. You know, when you're dialing through and you're selecting cloudy, sunny, fluorescent lighting, that kind of stuff. And I noticed that in my footage, whenever it came to color grading, it was not fun, and I could never seem to nail it right or kind of, get the right colors that I want to in post-production. And then I quickly found out that you need to be a little bit more specific when dialing in your footage. So my biggest problem was always nailing exposure, and as a result, I just never really liked what I had on screen. Well, a couple of months ago, I found this. It's actually called Cinetemp. It's an app, and nobody's sponsoring this. I paid for this with my own money, but essentially, it's an app that helps you figure out the exposure of your scene. No one is sponsoring this. This app was purchased with my money and my money alone. But if you'd like to support me, feel free to check out my website. I sell LUTs and presets on there, services as well. I'll link the website in the description down below. Now, this app helped me turn iPhone footage into cinematic footage that I actually use for client videos that you would really never know. And if you want to see an example of how I actually nailed those shots and how they were color graded and how they were shot on an iPhone, feel free to check out this WeTransfer link in the description. I have 3 videos in there you can just kind of take a look at. And every time I deliver these types of videos, people always ask, what camera did you use? And they're oftentimes surprised to when I tell them that it's an iPhone. So pretty cool to know that exists. So my problem was I was guessing with my white balance, and that's not a really good thing. That's not a really good habit to actually start off. I would use the presets in my camera, but those would tend to not be as specific as needed. So sure, they're a good basis for if you need something really quick, but as you know, if you've handled a camera for any amount of time, the light ranges so vastly depending on what scenario you're in. Now I no longer rely on those presets. When I quickly figured out that you can manually expose your footage, I started doing so, but I would actually do it incorrectly, and I would actually gauge it based on what the temperature looked on my small little LCD screen. The problem was I was not going based off of actual color temperature, but really visually what I was seeing on screen, and a lot of times, depending on where you're shooting, that can be incorrect. And so as a result, I leaned towards more warmer lighting, warmer exposure, and it actually ended up making skin tones a little more pink, and white surfaces more on the the red or pinker side, so that when I went into post-production, my LUTs just were not working out properly. The nice thing about this app is literally just open up the app, point it at your light source that's going to be lighting your subject. That tells you the temperature at which you need to set your camera at. Dial it in on your camera, and now it's perfectly exposed. If you want it to deviate a little bit more cooler or more warmer, you can do so, but now at least you know what the base is of that color temperature. Now, this light meter is not perfect, as I've been told. I personally don't have any experience with any other light meters, just because I just frankly don't have the resources to go out and buy one, and frankly I don't want to, but I have been very surprised and really satisfied with this purchase, because although I've been told it's not perfect by other reviews on YouTube, it has given me everything I need to actually enjoy the color that I put out on in post-production and on my videos. Now, I will say this app pairs really well when you've nailed the exposure with the LUTs found on my website. If you have not checked these out, I would highly recommend doing so. I sell both LUTs, finished products, and power grade. If you want a little bit more control of your color grading, I do give that in there. And lastly, I would say that this app pairs extremely well with this other review that I did of the Blackmagic camera app when you're using just your iPhone to make videos, or this filmmaking kit for your iPhone that allows you to dial in your exposure settings, especially under sunny conditions, and allows other features like grips and cages for your phone to be able to mount different things on there. So if you haven't checked either one of those two out, feel free to do so. It's going to pair really well with this app, and frankly make iPhone footage and just iPhone filmmaking fun again.